Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Campus Green episode of the Subject Baseball Podcast, where I talk all things baseball because the subject is baseball. Guys, we have a new intro for the Campus Green episodes. My lovely friend Vicky is an incredible artist, and she made us this new intro. Here it is. It's adorable. It's so cute. Also, yes, I got rid of the pink hair, the red hair. I just needed to change. It's back to black, brown. I don't really know. I had my friends come over and box dye it. So we're rocking with a new hair color. We're also rocking with new decorations. I have a new Fenway sign that I actually got for my mother at Seaport in Boston, the little Christmas thing that they do every year. I got it for her. She said I could hang it upstairs. So now it's on my green wall. My green monster, my Fenway sign. I also have a new signed baseball cap. It's in a little plastic bubble because it's autographed and I don't want anything to happen to the autograph. It was signed by Tanner Houck at Fenway Fest. Me and Emily are going to do a whole episode about our adventures there, so you guys gotta stick around for that one because that was quite an interesting day for the two of us. Yep. What do you do when you're standing across from a professional MLB pitcher and the attendant says, "Oh, actually, I need you to stand here for a couple minutes while we let the line catch up"? Girl, I had no idea what to say to this man, so I didn't say anything at all. And you'll have to stick around to see how that story turns out for the next episode with Emily. Today, we're going to talk about the first, I almost said 6-7. I almost did. We're going to talk about the first 5 or 6, I can't remember how many, games of spring training. If you hear a couple of toenails clicking downstairs, that's my dog. I don't know if you can hear it, but if you can, I apologize. She's a little anxious girly. The bells, yes, I forgot she does have bells on her collar, actually. You'll definitely be able to hear that. Today, in this Campus Green episode, we're going to talk about the first 5 or so spring training games of the Red Sox, because I have been watching them. Yes, I am crazy. Yes, I am very upset when they lose, even though these games don't really count. But you know what? It's given me something to do. I don't know why we're complaining about it. I think everybody... Let me be crazy. It's okay. It's okay. I'm also going to tell my own fan story. I know I've had Tony and Emily on the podcast talk about theirs. I figured it was time to talk about mine. So that's what we're going to tackle today. Those 2 things. And maybe if something else comes up, we'll see. But first, a little yap. I currently work 2 jobs. And it's going great. It's going fantastic. But it's kicking my butt. I'm just a little bit tired. And so the past couple podcast episodes haven't been up on time. I know. Don't come for me. But I am hoping I'll get into more of a routine and settle into a bit of a better schedule so that I will have time to give you the episodes that you deserve, because that's what we're here for. We're here to hear baseball. We're here to learn about baseball and our favorite teams and our favorite players. And I am currently not giving that to you like I promised. But just you wait. It's coming. They're coming. They are coming. So I'm essentially just going to answer the questions that I asked Emily and Tony. Because why not? So I would consider myself the hardcore biased fan. I know a lot about one team. If you ask me about any other team, I don't know anything. I know a little bit about the Dodgers and a little bit about the Blue Jays. But honestly, I'm just there for the vibes, man. I watch those games just for the vibes. I had no horse in that race. I had no horse in that race. Consider me a hardcore biased for the Boston Red Sox, if we couldn't already tell. The only ballparks that I have been to are Fenway Park and then the Tri-City Valley Cat Park. I don't know the name of that. I went when I was like little, and then I went this past summer, but that's it. I did play softball as a kid. I was maybe in like 3rd grade, but every single sport that I tried, I only tried because my other friends were playing the same sport, and I felt left out. So then I would try the sport, realize once again that I'm not really a sports person, and then after like a year or a year and a half, I would quit because I just didn't want to spend my time doing that anymore. That's what softball was for me. Maybe I did it for 2 years. I feel like I only remember one. Again, I just didn't have the passion for it. But that experience provided me with knowing the rules, or at least the basic rules, so that now when I'm a fan, I understand it. It's one of the easiest sports to understand, kind of, until you get into like the weeds of stuff, and if you like try and figure out statistics. But I don't care about statistics, because that's a lot of numbers for a game where people are just supposed to run in a circle. So, yeah, I don't care about that. My first game, I don't remember. I think I was little. I do remember a couple years ago, 2022, my uncle took me and my sister to a game, and I just remember that I got really bad baseball tan. Like when you're wearing the shorts, but then you're sitting in the seat, so really only your knees to like your mid-thigh get tan, and then on either side, there's like, you've just got like a square, because the backs of your legs are not getting tan, because you're sitting the whole time. If you do stand, you're back in your seat, because you're only cheering for 2 seconds. Anyway, it was bad. I had to even it out at camp that summer. That's pretty much all I remember about that game, because up until this past year, I wasn't really a fan. I just went for the vibes, and I'm proud to say it. I was a previous just for looks fan, and now I am a hardcore biased. So we're making progress. Honestly, this is probably where I'll stay, though. I don't think I will ever get to an all-knowing fan, because I don't care that much about the other teams. I only care about mine. And that's okay. I'll probably learn a little bit about the other teams, just to, like, round out my baseball knowledge. But right now, I'm okay. What I love about the sport. First off, I think I love that it is on almost every single day when it is in season. I don't know what it is. It's probably some form of undiagnosed ADHD or something where I am like hyper fixated, right? When I'm watching a TV show, I need to either binge it, or it needs to be a TV show where episodes are coming out so that like Tuesday, new episode of this, Wednesday, new episode of that. And I'm locked in on the schedule, and I'm excited, and it's something to look forward to. So baseball being every single day, where every single day I wake up and there's something for me to watch, and it's new, and it's brand new, and I'm experiencing it for the first time, and it's not like a replay, or it's not like an episode of TV that's been on for however many years, and it's boring because everybody else has seen it. This is new, this is live. And there's like stakes to it. Like, if you lose a certain number of games in a season, bye-bye trophy, right? So I think that's why I'm, like, interested in it. That's why it's, like, keeping my attention. And then, like, because you are watching so many games, you start to know the players as people. Please, I beg, if you have just watched baseball, like, numerous times, and you're just watching for the sport, and you don't really know the players, I ask you to know the players. I ask you just to do a little bit of research on the players, because they are people. And this is going to turn into the whole players are people and we do not wish death threats on people kind of rant, so I'm going to stop right here and just say that if you are a fan of baseball and you don't know the players of your team, not personally, but just like, you should know if they have kids or not, maybe, or like where they come from and their story, just a little bit. I just ask you to do a little bit of research, just to like I don't know. I don't like when people just view the players as like pawns in a game because they're real people. Again, I said I would stop here, so I'll stop here. But that's what keeps my attention is when you start to like learn more about the players, you become a little bit more invested in the game and you're like proud of them for winning. And then when they lose, you're like, "Oh, man, that sucks." But you'll get them next time because you cheer them on and you root for them and you're being a real fan. And that's what I love about the community of fans, especially Boston. The New England sports fandom, they're a little crazy. They're just a little bit crazy. Crazy in a good way. They're like die-hard, live and breathe sports. Baseball, football, hockey, live and breathe. When you're at Fenway, the community around you, the people around you, the Boston fans, are incredible. They just feel like just one big family. Unless they're a little crazy. If they're a little crazy, maybe stay away. But like the sane ones, the ones that you can like chill with and like make a couple jokes with, and you're like, "Hey, you're my seat buddy for this game." And then if you go back another game and you're in like the same section and they're there too, oh, that's so fun. I cannot wait to have season tickets. I think I'm getting a little sidetracked, so I'm going to try and go back to my topic. I like the community of people. I think that me and Tony talked about this and covered it pretty well in that episode, so if you haven't checked that one out, go check it out. My favorite moment in person would probably be, I went to a game with my uncle September, either late July or early September. Nope, that's wrong. Late August or early September. He had 2 tickets in one of the loge boxes right behind home plate. Loge, however you say that. And unfortunately, my aunt was having surgery, so she couldn't go. So my uncle took me, and we were driving there, and the lineup came out, and I was like, "Oh, shoot. My player is not on the lineup today. That's so sad." But then you know what? They threw him in for a pinch hit, and he hit a home run. And I have proof. Here it is. So that was pretty fun. My uncle teased me. He was like, "They knew that you were coming. They put him in only for you." Which is not true. But I would like to think it is. Have I ever met any of the players? Yes. I went to Fenway Fest. I met Tanner Houck. I met Brock Holt and Garrett Whitlock. Me and Emily took pictures with them. Here they are. That was pretty funny and cool. And then we sat like third row to the defensive panel that was happening. So it was Carlos Narvaez, Cedon, and Story. And so like hearing them speak for like an hour, that was pretty cool too. That was a really cool day. If you have not experienced Fenway Fest or any fan fest, I know a whole bunch of other teams do these fan events where during the off season the team will come back and you can like take pictures and stuff and hang out with them for a day. Go do it. It's so cool. Our tickets were totally worth it. My least favorite moment, I don't know. I was not a fan when the Mookie trade happened, but that was not cool. I've done some research. That's not cool. Also, not cool about the whole Bregman thing leaving. I'm not very happy about that. My player opinions, I think we were right to get rid of Devers. I think that the attitude you have in a clubhouse holds a lot of weight. And the Boston clubhouse very much has a vibe of blue collar, we're the underdogs, down and dirty. And he was not that. He seemed like he was getting a little too entitled. And maybe I'm making a lot of accusations here. But from what I picked up on, what I saw, was that he was like, "I don't want to do this anymore. I want to play one position. I don't want to be a team player and help you out where you are asking me to help out. I just want to do my own thing and play the game my way. And that's not how you do a team sport. From my limited time of being on a team, that is not how it works. So my crazy opinion, maybe it's wrong. Statistically, it might be wrong. But again, I don't care about statistics. I think we were right. So that's my personal opinion. I think that Rafi was right to leave. And I know that's a bold one. But it is what it is. My advice for people who would like to be Red Sox fans, you're getting into a lot. There's a lot of history. If you have no idea the history, just go watch any documentary or any movie that has come out about the Red Sox and you'll learn it all. I specifically like the Netflix 2004, I don't remember what that's called, but it's a documentary that came out a couple years ago about the 2004 Red Sox. That is very well done. And then the Netflix 2024 documentaries, they're both series. The docu-series that came out about the 2024 Red Sox, that one is very well done. The 2004 one has interviews of the players talking about the past, which is nice to get like their firsthand account. And then the 2024 doc has like more information about the players and their personal lives, which is again nice to put a person to the player that you're watching on TV. Advice for people who are hesitant about becoming fans of the sport in the first place. I think me and Emily said this. Go in person. Go to a game in person. It's hard to get into it if you're just watching it on TV and you're not really there. The atmosphere of a ball game in a park is so much different, and it's so much more exciting than just sitting at home and watching it. And then once you're into it, that's when you can sit at home and watch the games. Or if you're obsessive and you need something new to watch every single day like I do, that ADHD tick thing that's going on, then you can get into it. You can pick any team. There's 30 teams. They all play little different combinations of playing each other, and just go for it. Yeah. If you do want to become a Red Sox fan, you're going to have to learn the backstory between the Yankees, all the history, even just a little bit of it. Maybe do a tour at the park if you're local. That was really fun. I did that. If you find the right group of people, they're going to be accepting of you, and they're going to be like so super welcoming. There's a couple like stuck up fans that you'll get like every once in a while. But for a majority of the time, if you have a question, just ask someone who knows baseball. They'll tell you. They won't judge you. They will tell you. So just get into it. For real, just get into it. I forgot to mention, my mug of the episode is my water bottle. It is specifically the tumbler style Owala, because I'm an Owala girly who is also currently dying of allergies. So any sniffing, sorry. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit more like the personal side. I answered all the questions that I asked everybody else, but here's like the more personal side of it. So my grandpa, my mom's dad, really loved the Mets, and he would have the games on all the time, and then he passed away when I was little, and my grandma would then have the games on all the time. Sometimes they weren't live games. Sometimes they were like the weird little recordings of the show games that she thought were real games. She couldn't really tell the difference. It's okay. Anyway, I grew up in that household. Like, whenever I was over, whenever I slept over, like, it was looking out a window of a bedroom, looking at the farm across the street. Stars are out, sky is dark. You're hearing the announcers for the Mets, which was a little crazy. But, like, that's what I fell asleep listening to, was radio baseball. And it is just, like, one of my childhood, like, sense memory things that comes back. So every once in a while I'll like turn off the TV and I'll just sit in my room and listen to like the radio announcing version of like the radio broadcast version of the game. So that's like a personal thing. My uncle picked the Red Sox So my grandpa, who loved the Mets, his son picked the Red Sox. I don't know why. I haven't asked him, but my mom was pretty much like, Grandpa said it was either the Mets or any team but the Yankees. And so my uncle picked the Red Sox. Probably because of the 2004 feud. I don't really know. But because my mom's really close with her brother, anytime we were like, ooh, sports, she would say Boston, right? And Boston was like really fun for us to visit when we were little and as kids. And like they would go to games all the time. So a couple years ago, I found myself with more free time and I needed a little bit of a distraction from a tough time that was going on. And my uncle, the same uncle, was watching the 2004 docuseries that came out on Netflix, and I was sat. Right before this, I like went to a couple games with him, wasn't really paying attention, was just there for the vibes. He put this show on, I was sat. I paid so much attention. I became obsessed almost immediately and like reclaimed that team as my team. Like before I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm a Boston fan. But again, just for looks. Now, I was like deep in it. So then pretty soon after that, I watched the 2024 doc that came out because it came out like just a couple months after. And I will admit it, I was a bandwagon Jaren Duran fan. I was, but like after watching the season, he's still one of my favorite players. I am, however, now leaning towards more of a Story or Narvaez girly. After seeing them, how they talked in person, I just gained a lot of respect for them. Also, Garrett Whitlock. When he talked on his conference, his little press conference, what are they called? Panels? Panels. When he talked on his panel, I gained so much respect for him. So I definitely have to get a couple Story or Narvaez jerseys. I have one. I bought the yellow City Connect Story jersey, but we don't know. We'll see. I did say that day, we were walking behind someone who was wearing a Tristan Casas jersey, and like just her vibe made so much sense as to why that was the player that she picked for a jersey to wear. And I told Emily, I said, sometimes you pick the player and sometimes the player picks you. And after that day, I was like, perhaps either Story or Narvaez, like their number is picking me and I'm not picking Duran. But we'll see. I don't know. I wouldn't call myself a bandwagon Duran fan now. I mean, he's a cutie. He's a cutie. I am excited to see Caleb Durbin. Is that his name? Durbin? That guy. Our new third base. That guy. I'm excited to see him play this season. Honestly, he kind of reminds me of a family friend that we have. So, cheering him on. Just for literally no other reason but besides the fact that he looks like someone I know. And then also, obviously, Roman and Marcelo we're excited to see. But yeah, basically, baseball found me at a kind of tough spot in my life. And because there was so much media that was coming out, not only the games were happening every single day, but then there was podcasts on top of it and news reports and headlines all on top of it. I just absorbed as much as I could and I threw myself into it. And it basically became my personality. Apologies to anyone who ever worked with me at camp this past summer, because it was my entire personality. I would wake up and I would go into the kitchen and someone would say, what time is the game on? Who are they playing? And then it didn't help that our cook he had lived in Boston for a few years, so we would like talk about it. Yeah, and I'd talk about it with Tony because he was a baseball guy. It was bad. It's kind of bad. It tamed down a little bit in the off season, but now that everything's picking up again, I just really want to work for a team, guys. I don't know what I would do. Maybe media, but like I don't really know how to work a camera. Maybe office stuff. I'm qualified for that. I could be a mascot. Been to the city numerous times. It is one of my favorite cities. I'm going to move there eventually. Spend a couple years. Don't know how, don't know when, but I'll get there. Consuming all the media this past summer led me to want to start this podcast because I realized how much of that media is all like super like high talk, like statistics and player names, and this guy reminds me of that guy from 14 years ago, and that guy reminds me of this guy from across, and there's so many and it's crazy. So I wanted it to be like an entry point for people who are looking to get into it but aren't really sure, or they're like a little curious, just getting their feet wet. And I didn't have that for when I got into baseball. I just jumped in head first and kind of had to figure things out as I went. And it's pretty easy to figure things out as you go in baseball. Like, quick little Google search is going to tell you everything you need to know. Or you could watch me, and I think I'm a little bit more entertaining than a Google search. Just a little bit. I would like to think so. I think that's pretty much my fan story. I feel like I should have had someone else interview me, because that would probably be more entertaining than just me sitting by myself. Because it gets a little hard when I talk by myself, and I don't really have a direction. Like, I wrote all this down, and I still rambled. I still got off track. So now we're going to talk about the baseball games that happened. Our first game, Friday, February 20th. I actually went to the movies when this game was on. And so I checked my phone immediately after the movies. We won 18-3 against the Huskies, which is a college team. So it makes a little bit more sense. I'm very proud of the Huskies for getting 3. I did not look up the game or watch the gameplay for this game, so I don't know how the 18 was scored. But that's going to be probably the highest that we have all season. And then Saturday, the game was 7-2 against the Minnesota Twins. I did watch this one. I did track it in my little scorebook, and you know what? I had a great time. The Sunday game I watched with my parents. My dad was just kind of there until I was like, oh, hey, look, Trevor Story's up. He calls Trevor Story my guy because he can't remember names. So that's his guy. Trevor Story is his guy. So he paid attention when he was up. Otherwise, he was just kind of there for the vibes. My mom started watching, and she would kind of pay attention. And then she took her little, 3rd inning through 7th inning nap. And that was pretty much it. But I was invested. Again, I tracked it. We won 11-10 against the Blue Jays. So that was a little bit of a battle. We both scored 4 in the first inning, and then Boston kicked it up to 6 in the 6th. Toronto scored another 3, and then we scored another one in the 7th, and Toronto scored another 3 in the 9th. Luckily, my break at work happens right around 1 o'clock, which is when all of these games have been playing, so I get to watch it during my break. Anyway, we lost on Monday to the Tampa Bay Rays 2-1. Yesterday, we lost to the Pirates 16-7. Let me tell you, this was a rough one. The Pirates scored in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And we scored in the 4th through the 7th. This was the game where we had 3 ABS challenges within the first 2 innings. So if you don't know, there's a new rule that's happening this season. The automatic ball system, I believe is what it's called. Correction, it is called the automatic ball strike system. Basically, a catcher, a batter, or a pitcher can challenge if they think that the ump has called a ball wrong. So if they call a ball, but everybody thinks it's a strike, somebody can tap their helmet and say, I want to challenge that. If the team is correct, they get to keep their challenge, and they have 2 throughout the whole game. Once you get a challenge wrong, you lose that challenge. So if they said, I think the strike you called is actually a ball, but it turns out to be a strike, like the ump was correct, then they lose a challenge until you're out. And then if there's extra innings, you get another one back. We had 3 of these situations, within the first 15 minutes of the game. And they were all correct, which means that the umpire was not great. So I know one of our announcers was like, I think that perhaps this results in a little bit of a rough and tumble with the umpire. I think that maybe you should grab your popcorn, because throughout the season, if the umps start to get mad, that's definitely new this season. It's a little frustrating, because at some point you're like, okay, if you're just going to call every single one of them and you happen to be right, then you can keep challenging. And it guys, just play the game. Just play the game. Umps have always been bad. Just play the game. So I don't know how I feel about it yet. I think there are certain situations where if they're dire and it's we're in the 9th inning and we're tied, and you challenge and it helps us win, that's cool. But if it's in the first, you've got 9 other innings. My guy, let it go. Let it go. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Today, we won against the Twins 5-3. This is a pretty chill game, actually. We got 4 in the third and another in the fourth. I don't really have any, super big opinions yet. There's nothing I've been, super impressed with. Actually, I take that back. Willie Abreu broke a bat during a check swing, which means that he swung, realized he didn't want to swing, and he pulled back. So hopefully they would count it as a ball, unless it was in the strike zone, in which case they'd call it a strike. But he pulled back, and he broke his bat. The bat snapped in half. He was left holding a little nub of wood in his hands, and the bat went flying. And he said later that he thought that maybe in the first at-bat, he hit the ball and the bat sounded a little bit different, and so maybe it cracked then, and then it just didn't, fully crack until afterwards. But, yeah. Everyone is a little confused about that. That was entertaining. Otherwise, nothing else has really happened. One of our players kind of had a little shoulder situation going on today. He dove, I think his last name was Rogers. He dove for a ball and he landed on his shoulder weird, so he was taken out of the game. I don't know. I think we look good as a team. It's hard to tell because they're throwing all the minor guys in so they get some playing time before everybody splits off for opening day. But I don't know. We'll see. I think that's pretty much it. I've hit 40 minutes, and half of this is definitely a yap that nobody really cares about. But that was my fan story. That's why I'm a fan. You can't really explain why you're a fan. You just like something because you like it. And kind of the recap of the past 5 games. I keep saying 5 because I don't want to say 6. Maybe I should count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is 6. I was wrong. The recap of the past 6 games. Thanks again to Vicky for the new intro. She's so cute. I love her. I have to find some music to put on her. Obviously it's in this episode, so I found music to put to the intro, but I haven't figured it out yet. I don't know what I'm going to talk about next week. It should probably be the second half of the MLB history, because we haven't done that one yet. And then we could probably get into some team history episodes. That'd be kind of cool. That would be cool. We'll see. I'll find something to talk about. I'm a yapper. Okay, I'm going to stop now. Welcome to the extra credit portion of the episode. Thanks for listening to this episode, and here are some other podcasts or resources if you decided subject baseball isn't really for you. If you're looking for Red Sox media specifically, besides the tens of TV shows and movies out there, the Section 10 podcast talks statistics, and they post an episode after each series. You can listen to anywhere you get your podcasts, but I think it's funnier to watch these guys on YouTube. The NESN reporters do a podcast called 310 to Left, and there's also the Fenway Rundown. 310 is found on the NESN YouTube channel, but you can also listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. Fenway Rundown can be found on the Mass Live YouTube or anywhere you listen to your podcasts. For more casual sports information, check out Katie Nolan. She has a SiriusXM podcast and a YouTube channel where she posts her shorter videos. While she's not sports specifically, and she's all things Philly, Kylie Kelsey's podcast Not Gonna Lie shines the light on women in sports if you're looking for some female empowerment. Baseball Explained is a channel on YouTube with shorter explanation videos on a variety of baseball topics. Baseball is Dead, Foul Territory, and Baseball Today are the most popular podcasts when you search baseball on Spotify. There's also Mookie Betts' podcast called On Base with Mookie Betts. Feel free to share other baseball or sports podcasts down in the comments for our new fan friends. And thanks again for listening to Subject Baseball.